Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Not Your Average Glow Up. This is a safe place where we talk all things mental health, spirituality, and quite a bit of tarot. Today's video is going to be on like your spiritual cash out. Now you might be like, Sam, what the fuck does that even mean? Okay, so I've been getting this message recently over and over and over again that like karmic energy is racking up from past lives, from this lifetime, and it's like a collective message that I'm getting that all of our karmic energy from past lifetimes and this lifetimes, that it's time to cash in. So it's like spirit has been like keeping tabs of like your karma, your deeds, what you've done, like your progress, and now they're ready to bless you. So if you resonate with that, if you've been getting that message here recently, like over and over again, seeing bunches of angel numbers about like blessings are coming in, job well done, and this, that, and the other, and you're like, okay, what are these blessings? What is coming in for me? That's the point of today's reading. I know that's super specific, but I know it's something that me and some of the people within my collective have talked about, where it's like very much so a collective energy. Like lots of people have been getting these downloads and these messages and like angel numbers and stuff saying that these blessings are coming in, and they're like, where? I don't see them. What are they? You know, like what? That's what today's video is. Okay, so our pile selection is going to be, pile number 1 is going to be this pyrite crystal. So this beautiful little pyrite crystal is pile number 1. Pile number 2 is going to be this $2 bill. This is pile number 2. And then pile number 3 is going to be this little, it's like a silver dollar. It's like a dollar coin. It's like all rusted and it's not silver. I'm assuming this is copper because it's like oxidized, but I don't even fucking know. But yeah, this dollar coin is pile number 3. So pile 1, pyrite, pile 2, $2 bill, and pile 3, this silver dollar. Okay, so go ahead and pause, go ahead and get yourself a little snacky snack, and then we'll jump on into our reading. Let's take this one way over here. All right, pile number 1. If you chose this gorgeous little pyrite stone, then this is your reading. First things first, it's pyrite. It's a crystal. It's known as like fool's gold. So you might have had like a little bit of like misfortune when it comes to material success and like financial abundance. You might have been like foolish when it comes to your money in the past. But this stone is often used in manifestation work, in abundance spells. Like a lot of people put pyrite in their abundance spells. So it can be used to bring in a lot of wealth. So one of your blessings probably is going to be wealth. But let's first do an energy check and make sure you're at the right pile, because this is a very specific reading. So you're showing up as the eagle, mastery, and regeneration, the lizard. And if this doesn't sound like you, then this isn't your pile, okay? So the eagle, you are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. And then lizard, regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are the master of regeneration. Okay, so some things that I'm seeing right off the bat is that you in pile number 1 are somebody who's been on a spiritual journey for quite some time. And I want to say that for a lot of you, if not all of you, that your spiritual journey has been quite public. Like maybe you have like a YouTube channel, something similar to mine, where you share your spiritual growth and evolution, like what you've learned. But that part doesn't have to resonate. But on the eagle, it says, you are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. It says, let go of the past and soar. You're being guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So that your wisdom inspires the world part of it made me feel like, I'm seeing a ladybug, and one of the piles, literally their card is the ladybug. So you might also have messages in pile number 3, but only go there if you feel called to, okay? But anyways, your wisdom inspires the world. It makes me feel like something about this spiritual development, this lesson that you are learning, these things that you've overcome, is in the public eye. Like maybe you wrote a book about it, or you're in the process of writing a book about it, or maybe you have a YouTube channel about it, or maybe it's just like you're in like a community of sorts, and like everybody within your community has witnessed this firsthand. Like it's very much so like people have seen this growth, this evolution. I feel like you've also been through a lot. I mean, a fuck ton. With the lizard regeneration, I always think about them like dropping their tail and like being left like half of themselves as like a defense mechanism. So you might have been hurt and felt like you had to lose a part of yourself in the process in order for survival. We're going to jump into the tarot before we get into your blessings. And this tarot spread will be like specifically some of the things you might have had to overcome, like the spiritual lessons that spirit is blessing you for. And then we'll get into what those blessings are. The tarot deck that I'm using is the Universal Transparent deck. And I like this deck because you can stack the cards on top of each other, and it makes one cohesive story. Like these are all separate cards, see? But when you stack them together, it makes one cohesive story. I rarely use these, and I don't know why, because I really like them. But anyways, so what I'm seeing, you have the Star, the 3 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles, and then your backdrop is this ocean, okay? And what this immediately speaks to me, the story that I'm getting, is you've had to do a lot of healing around some confrontation within a social circle or a friend group. And I feel like the specific confrontation is about superiority and like giving from a place of like superiority, because the 6 of Cups is like, it's like a handout, right? It's like he's giving to these people, right? He's giving them coins, and like they're the beggars. But it's like almost like a savior like complex, because he's giving from a place of superiority. It's like, I'm better than you. Like you have to come to me for a handout. Like this card always kind of gives me the ick. Like it's like, oh, he's a giver. That's so sweet, you know? But it's like, it gives me the ick. Okay. So I want to say that maybe you were involved in a friend group or a social circle that had this "you can't sit with us" mentality, had this like we're such good people, we're such loving and giving people, like almost like a facade, right? Like it's like that whole, like, you know, like in the spiritual community, there's a lot of like spiritual teachers and stuff that you see on YouTube, and then you find out that they're kind of shitty people and that they're in it for the wrong reasons. They're not actually healers. They're not actual gurus. They are people with a savior complex because their heart isn't in the right place. It's like possibly you were involved in a group like that where these people were like giving to others and like giving to a community or whatever, but it was very much so from that place of superiority, like we're better than you. And for whatever reason, that mentality that we're better than you, like we could help you if we wanted to, we have lots to offer you. You got to come to us. Be our little beggar, you know, could have caused some conflict. Now, you could have been the beggar. You could have been the person giving from a place of superiority, or like take the roles as it resonates, because I do feel like it'll be a little bit different for different people. But I see you as somebody who shook things up, as somebody who spoke up, as somebody who said, you know, like called him out on the bullshit and said, this isn't right. It's yucky. We're not better than other people. And you're giving yourself this false sense of superiority, and you're setting yourself up for failure. Fool's gold. It's like you might feel that you're better than these people, that you have all these accolades, that you have all this success, that you have all this money or platform or whatever it may be, but it's built. I'm hearing that song. It's originally by 9 Inch Nails. It's Hurt, but Johnny Cash did a cover of it. And for whatever reason, every time I channel the song, I always hear Johnny Cash singing it instead of 9 Inch Nails. And I like the original. But it's I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. Focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. But the specific part that I was hearing is my empire of dirt. Okay, so it's like these people don't realize that their success, this thing that they're like standing on top of the mountain. Now I'm thinking of that game, King of the Hill, you know, that game that we used to play like as little kids, where we would like stand on top of the hill and like push each other off the hill. King of the Hill. I don't know if you've ever like played that, but that was a game that we played in like elementary school. Now I'm hearing Red Rover. I don't know why that's relevant. Like Red Rover, send someone right over, and then you clothesline the shit out of them. It's almost like this group of people was like that. It's like they were standing on their little empire of dirt and being like, ha ha ha, I'm king of the hill. Look at where I've come up to. Oh, but Red Rover, come on over. And it's like, we're gonna welcome you into our circle. Come on over. And then they just clothesline people. Like, these people are mean and malicious and nasty. And they might almost facade as healers. I was getting that earlier because this is such a spiritual pile. But I feel like what you did was, you see how the background is like this cliff, and it's like a wave, like a tidal wave, like coming up over the cliff, right? I feel like but this is like the background for the Fool card, but the Fool's not on here. I feel like you are like, I'm not gonna be a fool again. That keeps coming out with this like fool's gold. I'm not gonna be the fool anymore. I see this huge ass tidal wave coming, and I'm taking myself out of the equation. Like, this is not something that I want to be. And you stepped away and you rocked the boat. It like started an uprising. It started a conflict. But doing this was in alignment with your purpose. It's exactly what Spirit called you to do and needed you to do for this next evolution of your soul. And it may have been difficult, and it may have been hard, but Spirit's really proud of you because it started a lot of healing. At the forefront of all this, it's like, this is all the background bullshit, but at the forefront of all of this is the star, is healing. That's what the star card is all about. So Spirit is really fucking proud of you. They're like, you've overcome this. You did a very good job. You did a good thing. You were like on the right side of karma. Now it's time to bless you. I think one of the blessings is probably going to be material success because of the pyrite. But let's pull some blessed be cards. And these cards are literally blessings. So let's see what your blessings are for this. I don't know why, but I'm feeling called to blow on it. I don't usually do that, but I'm feeling called to blow on it. Maybe you are a tarot reader. Maybe you usually like blow on your cards or something. A blessing on your health. Love that. I heard mental health. A blessing on fire. Ooh, passion. Also, just as a side note, also the blessing on your health has a dragon. So somebody here could be a fire sign. Let that be extra confirmation. You don't have to be a fire sign, but let it be extra confirmation if you are, because with a blessing on fire and the dragon, literally dragons are known to like blow fire. Somebody could be a fire sign. Okay, so blessing on fire. Fire is all about like passions, like what you're passionate about. It can be about sex too. So maybe your sex life's about to take off in a really good way. But I feel like you're about to be passionate about life again. You're about to find what you're passionate about. And I feel almost like you're gonna, like with the fire-breathing dragon, I feel like you're also gonna get like a throat chakra opening where you're going to speak more passionately. A blessing on children. Okay. So if you want children, then God could be blessing you with a beautiful little baby. Only take that if it resonates. But also I feel like this is spirit saying that this is going to be really healing for your inner child. Maybe also you're going to be a voice for others, like children, some way. A blessing on your home, a blessing on air. Yeah, mental health. What did I say earlier? Air is the mind. A blessing on home. So you might be getting a new home. I'm getting major 10 of Cups energy. A blessing for a mother. Yeah, if you, I literally said I'm getting major 10 of Cups energy, and you have children, home, mother, health. This is giving major 10 of Cups. So if you want to be a mom, God is about to bless you with a baby. Okay. Just let that be known. But I also feel like, say, for example, you're a man or identify as one, and you want a family, then you're about to be blessed with the mother of your future kids. Like, she's coming in. Also, spirit could also be like you're about to create a home with the mother of your kids if you're a man. Also, though, there might be a blessing on your relationship with your mom. Like, there might be a new level, a new like what's the word? Like a new phase of your relationship with your mom. But I feel like a lot of you, it's like you're gonna be the mom. A blessing on your intuition. Nice. So some spiritual upticks. A blessing on hope and solace. Nice. So you're going to be seeing life from a much happier place. A blessing on your boundaries. That's what I was getting with these top two cards, with the blessing on fire and like speaking passionately. So you're going to, from this situation, you're now going to have really strong boundaries and have the knowledge and the know-how on how to assert those boundaries and how to like hold them strong like a fortress. I seen this TikTok the other day. I don't know why I feel called to share this. Maybe you need this message. I seen this TikTok the other day where it was a spiritual teacher. I can't remember her name. She's so freaking funny. But there's this girl, and she was talking about how sometimes people ask for healing and a new start and like and blessings, but they don't ask for the knowledge or the tools on how to get there. So then it's like spirit starts taking things away and starts forcing them into the healing phase, and they panic because it's like, it's because they never asked for the know-how. It's like they're like, God, give me a spiritual awakening. Give me my psychic gifts. Give me my blessings. And God's like, okay. But if you don't have the knowledge about like what a spiritual awakening is, and you're not grounded in the here and now, like you don't meditate regularly, you don't logically know what's happening, right? It can make you spiral. It can make you go crazy. It can throw you off balance. That's why it's so important if you ask for like a crown chakra like opening, that you also work on your root so you stay grounded and planted. But a lot of times people ask for upticks, they ask for their blessings, they ask for like their future spouse or whatever, but they don't ask for the tools and the knowledge of how to get there. And when I pulled this blessings on boundaries card, it's like, if you resonate with that and you're like, yeah, I kind of fucked up and did that, it's like, shit's happening and I know that it's happening for my highest good, but it's also scaring the shit out of me because I don't know what the fuck's happening. I'm new to this. 2112 when I said that. So look up angel number 2112. Then the blessing on your boundaries also, it's like you're going to be able to hold strong boundaries and keep them, but I also got the download that you're finally going to get a little bit of clarity on like what's happening. Blessings to ease loneliness and bring companionship. I was getting that earlier. A blessings on unity where there was once division. Yeah. Okay. So for a lot of you, you're going to be soon in the near future blessed with your future spouse, your forever person. You're going to be building a beautiful home with them. I was getting 10 of Cups energy. If you want kids, you're going to have kids. Your intuition, your spirit, your spiritual uptick is going to happen. You're going to like get like insane psychic downloads. You're going to learn to like assert boundaries. I was getting money, like lots of beautiful blessings coming in for you. But I think it's really, really, really important when these things come in that you're protective of them. With the blessings on boundaries and then the blessings on fire and your health and like talking about mental health, in order to keep these blessings, in order to maintain your mental health, in order to truly appreciate these things when they come in, you're gonna have to learn to cut ties with some people. You're gonna have to, you can no longer associate with those superiority people. You're no longer gonna be able to, and you're not gonna be able to let them back in. You're gonna have to go, no, I don't want the riffraff in my nice, pretty, peaceful house. I just seen in my head that scene in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where maybe there's a French connection here. I always think of that because of Notre Dame. But the ladybug, somebody needs to go and watch pile number 3, but only take that if you were already feeling called to watch pile number 3. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where Esmeralda goes running to the chapel, and she calls for sanctuary. She's like, sanctuary, sanctuary. And maybe there's something like you were feeling like a traveler, like a gypsy soul for a while. And I know that's like not the politically correct terminology. I apologize. I think it's Romney people is what they're called now, but I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize for my ignorance. Somebody let me know. But it's like maybe you were living this very like nomadic, like traveler lifestyle for a while. It's like these people that you had to leave behind, this group, this community or whatever, that you kind of had like a fall from grace. You had to leave them, and it might have had you like displaced for a while, where and the Romney people, they do this by choice. They're not like displaced, but it's almost like homelessness by choice, right? Where they're on the go, and maybe you felt that like you fell from grace, but it was an empire of dirt. You didn't actually fall from grace. That was like an illusion, right? Fool's gold. and you felt displaced for a while, right? You're about to be blessed with your forever home, and it's gonna be sanctuary. That's what I was getting. Esmeralda called for sanctuary. And in order to maintain that sanctuary, you're gonna kind of, I don't want to say stay home, because God's not telling you you have to be a hermit and just be a homebody and don't trust anybody anymore. That's not the message. But you're going to have strong boundaries around your home life, around your family, around your romantic relationships, around like your home, your relationship, your family is going to become your sanctuary. It's going to be when you put your bags down after a long, hard day of work or whatever, and you come home, it's going to feel like a burden is lifted, like your house is going to be truly peaceful, because you're going to build this beautiful home that possibly you've never had before. And Spirit's saying, in order to maintain that, because it is a blessing, you're going to have strong boundaries about, like, we're not letting like just anybody in. We're not, it's like an exclusiveness, but not in the way that your ex-friends or this group that you left behind was doing. It's an exclusiveness from a higher conscious place. Like this, you will let in people that are like beneath you, or people that are poorer than you, or whatever, people that need a handout. But it's people whom are good, healing, loving, growing people. The mark of true like guru energy, shaman energy, like teacher energy, is that they're not a shaman if they think that they're better than everybody else. They're not a shaman if they think that they know everything. They're not a shaman if they claim to have like sacred knowledge that nobody else has access to. They're not a shaman or a guru or whatever, if basically the whole point is that in order to now there's 3 ladybugs, holy shit, so there might be 3 people, like 3 main people, or pile number 3 that keeps coming up. 333 might be something for you. But the whole point of this rant is, it's like you're gonna be able to now have the clarity and the know-how to decipher, like a strong spirit of discernment of, this is true spiritual knowledge. And the true spiritual knowledge is that we're all in process. We're all growing, that you can like, you could like slurp up as much knowledge as you possibly could for the rest of your life. You could live in a library and read all the spiritual texts all day long, and there would still be more to learn. That's why we have multiple incarnations. That's why we live multiple lifetimes. It's because we can't possibly learn it all in one lifetime. And a true teacher, a true leader in a spiritual sense knows that. And they know that I don't know everything. And they don't gatekeep knowledge. They share through their learned experience, through writing texts, and through doing this, and not just to make money. They don't just write the books and then, oh, I'm just going to get rich off of it. And I'm not saying that you can't make money from spiritual practice. I very much so do, being a healer, and charging for tarot readings, but it's the heart of it, right? You're now going to have that knowledge, and you're going to have to know who's good peoples and who's bad people. And it's like your intuition knows the way, and that's the message Spirit has for you, is to hold those boundaries, because those people are going to try to sneak back in when these blessings come your way. They're going to be like, oh fuck, look at so and so, they got money now, they got oh, look at this house they have, oh, we should throw a party at their house, they got a nice house, oh, can I get a ride in your nice new car, and oh, look at your relationship, it's so happy and so beautiful. And like, if you're a man and your wife is like beautiful and abundant and like a kind person, like these other men are gonna be like, I want her, You know, like if you have a nice house, these people are gonna be like, I want that house. Like you're gonna have to be like, this is mine. I worked for this. I own this. And when you share, make sure you're sharing with the right people. I hope this makes sense. I don't know why I felt so strongly to share that to you, but that's your message, pile number 1. I'm going to clear out that energy and then we're going to jump into pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. If you chose this $2 bill, then this is your reading. Okay, so $2 bill, this is like old money is immediately what it made me think of. Like you never see $2 bills anymore. I don't even think they make them anymore. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think they make them anymore. And they're kind of like a rare thing to find. So like it's one of those things where like you find a $2 bill, you kind of keep it. Or at least I do. So that's kind of what this made me think of. So maybe you're somebody who came from old money. Maybe your family is quite wealthy. If not, maybe you are very rare. I'm getting old money for whatever reason. Only take that if it resonates, but I'm getting old money. Okay, so let's do a little energy check to see if this is your reading, okay? So you're being represented by the Puffin Partnership. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. And then Moose, wisdom. Let your head and mind reach the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you and you know. Okay, so only take this if you were already feeling called to pile number 1. But some of you might have messages in pile number 1 because it says let your head reach the stars, but keep your feet rooted. I went on like a little rant about that in pile number 1. Which weirdly pile number 1 had messages in pile number 3. So maybe you guys need to just watch this whole video. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for the piles to like connect, but sometimes that happens. Maybe you have lots and lots of blessings, which is always a beautiful thing. But anyways, okay, so I'm getting big energy of people who are very much so part of a community, right? Like you have a community that you're very, very involved in. I feel like it's a spiritual community, but it's one that like is very rooted in the here and now. Like head in the stars, but feet planted on the earth. So maybe you do like a very practical good thing. Like maybe it's very humanitarian or something like that. Like maybe you have a soup kitchen or something along those that nature. Like you do like a very beautiful healing thing within a community, but it's very much so like a 3D thing, but like it's like beautifully 3D, right? I also feel like some of you might be quite psychic, but very much so have like earth energy. You might also really enjoy meditating and grounding. You have a very joyful and like beautiful, colorful personality. Like you're very much so like one of a kind. You might enjoy wearing very colorful garments. Like you might, like your closet might be quite colorful. Like all the colors in it, you know. I'm getting extrovert energy. I'm getting very social butterfly sort of energy. So if that resonates, then this is your reading. All right, so I'm using for today's pick a card, the Universal Transparent Tarot. I rarely ever use this deck, and honestly, I don't know why, because it's so cool. So when you use this deck, the cards stack on top of each other to create one cohesive story within a card. I love this. So your story and what Spirit is blessing you for, like what you had to overcome, what you learned, is being depicted here by the Wheel, the Six of Cups, the Ten of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the King of Cups. Okay, so I'm seeing somebody who has overcome a wounded inner child. Maybe you grew up poor, because the Five of Pentacles talks about like poverty and a poverty mindset. And the Ten of Swords is like a lot of hurt, like a lot of wounding. The Wheel is about like a positive forward momentum, like the wheel turning, like the next chapter of your life. So maybe for a while, the King of Cups is somebody who has a lot of love to give, but they're also quite guarded. And this particular King of Cups looks quite grumpy. He looks like a big grouch. So maybe for a long time, you kind of had your heart closed off. Like you were a very loving person at your core, always have been. Like a very, very loving, giving, sweet person. Like this particular Six of Cups has like a little boy like giving a little girl like flowers. It's so sweet. So maybe you had a lot of love to offer in your youth. You were very giving, very open, very sweet, very just like fun and fancy free sort of energy. And over time you were constantly stabbed in the back. And it kind of made you wall off your heart and feel quite like poor, but I'm getting almost poor in love. I'm getting like this kind of like woe is me. You know the Christmas Story? And there's Tiny Tim and he's at the window and he's begging, and then there's the grouchy dude. You know what I'm talking about? The grouchy dude in the Christmas Story? I can't remember his freaking name. Scrooge. Is that it? I don't know. But like, I feel like you almost became a Scrooge on the exterior, but on the interior, you still have that ooey gooey heart that like wants to give Tiny Tim like the loaf of bread, like wants to be sweet and giving and generous, but it's like your life experience has taught you that you're not safe to do that, that you have to guard your heart, right? You can't just give because people will take advantage, right? What you have learned, and maybe it was with the help of this community that surrounds you, and the spiritual practice that you've begun. Like maybe you went on like I know Yes Theory did like I want to say it was almost like 1,000 days of meditation, or maybe that was just Thomas did 1,000 days. But maybe it was like 100 days of meditation or something like that. Some challenge that they did. I can't remember, guys. I'm so sorry. My memory is like today. But maybe you did something like that, where it's like you challenged yourself to this like goal of like meditation, and in doing that, like in being a part of this community and diving deep into this spiritual practice, you did some deep transformative work around this heart wound that you had, this poverty mindset that you had, this woe is me, I'm Scrooge mindset. And you started to like break the ice around this walled off heart of yours. And Spirit is like, thank God, like they've learned the lesson. They aren't in this poverty mindset anymore. They're opening, softening. They are, they're ready for love, for, to let people in, It's like you're ready now to let people in again. So I feel like that's one of the blessings that you're gonna get is to one of the things that Spirit's gonna bless you with, I already feel, is soul family, is like people who will love you and appreciate you for you. And for some of you, you might, I'll only take this if this resonates, please, but you might also get like old money, like an inheritance or something, like possibly somebody in your family passes away and you get gifted a large quantity of money from a relative or something, because I was getting old money for whatever reason. So only take that if that resonates, but let me know if that resonates, because I'm getting that. And that's such a weirdly specific thing, and it doesn't resonate with my life at all, because I don't come from money and nobody in my family really has money like that. So I don't know where that's coming from, but anywho, let's see what blessing Spirit has for you for overcoming this heart wound and this poverty mindset, Spirit. A blessing for good men. So if you're a woman, a great man is going to come into your life. If you are a man, you are transforming into a really good man, and you're going to make connections with other really good men and like have really good, solid friendships. And if you're a they, them, then you're either going to be like stepping into your like divine masculine energy, or like good divine masculine energy is coming into your life. A blessing for good work. Nice. Okay, so I get that like you're going to love your job. You're going to love your career and what you're working on and what you're building in life. Not even just job, like what you're building, what you're working on, what you're focused on. You're going to genuinely like it. A blessing to bring prosperity, yeah. And I feel like you might switch careers, and this career, one, you're gonna love it. It's not even gonna feel like work. And two, it's gonna bring a lot of financial abundance, like lots of money, bitch. Like if you don't inherit like old money, you're gonna be like accumulating the type of wealth where it's like you can put it back for your kids. You know what I mean? Like money. It's like you're shifting like the paradigm for your lineage, if that makes sense. A blessing of peace of mind. Oh, I love that. So you're going to have like peace. Your life is going to turn around for the better. You're going to feel like you can take a deep mindful breath. A blessing on earth. Earth is all about material wealth, abundance, finances, home. That's beautiful. Blessing to bring clarity. Yeah, it's like you're going to be seeing the world from a new, beautiful, clear lens. It's like you were wearing glasses and they were all like smudged up and covered in dust, and it's like God is like just going to like clean them up, and you're going to be seeing things from a brighter, more beautiful perspective. It's almost like the reverse of like rose-colored glasses. Like maybe for a while you were seeing the world in like gray glasses, like all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray and the sky is gray, you know, where like raindrops keep falling on my head, you know. Like maybe you're in this like pessimistic mindset, and now it's like Spirit's like letting you see things in technicolor, you know. A blessing for the right words. You're also going to get an uptick in your like throat chakra, and learn to speak up for yourself. And I just heard like for some of you, you might be like writing a book, because with the career and speaking about career, and like if you've been struggling to like finalize or like write a book, this card came out in pile number 1. Blessing for unity, where there was once division. Yeah, I was getting that. You're going to be getting the right words. Like you're going to be able to articulate yourself more clearly. And if you're writing a book, the book's going to be like beautiful. It's like that final draft is going to be chef's kiss, you know? A blessing in a home. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of the similar messages from pile number 1. You're going to be getting a new job that's going to pay a lot and you're going to love. You're going to be getting like a happy home, happy life. You're going to be getting quite a lot of abundance. You're going to be getting a new perspective on life, and you're going to be just happy. Like it's like the American dream, but not in the white picket fence suburban way. Like, if that's not what you want, then it's not like when I say like happy home, happy like family, if you aren't somebody who wants to live in like the suburbs and like settle down, like say you want to live and travel and like whatever, it's like whatever that means for you. Like if you're polyamorous and lesbian, then you might have multiple wives and live in a cute little cottage in France or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, you want kids, then you're gonna have lots and lots of kids. If you don't want kids, then you're gonna have lots of puppies, you know? Like, it's like that. Like, it's really pretty. It's really beautiful. I've seen wisteria. I've seen a cobblestone like doorway, and then I saw wisteria vines growing on it. So for some of you, you might quite literally be getting like a cute little cottage, because I was saying that. Wisteria is one of my favorite plants. I want to plant it around my house so bad, but Dakota won't let me because he's like, it's gonna ruin the siding on the house. And I'm like, but I just want it to overtake everything because it's so pretty. But it is a very, very invasive plant and it will overtake fucking everything. So, but maybe that's a message for you. Maybe like the blessings, the joy, the beauty of your life will literally overgrow everything that you once knew about life. It's like you'll just see new growth, new abundance, new blessings. It'll like cover, it's like rose tinted glasses, but in a good way, like in a divine way. Like you're gonna see everything through the lens of beauty and appreciation and gratitude. I love this for you. All right, so that is your message, pile number 2. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna move on to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3. If you chose this little like silver dollar, I don't think it's silver. That's what keeps throwing me off. I'm pretty sure this is copper. But either way, if you chose this like little silver dollar, then this is your reading. First things first, there's what's it called? Oxidization, or like, what is it called when like copper starts to turn that like tealish blue color? There's a word for it, and my mind has just gone blank. There is a word specifically for that. When copper starts to turn that like beautiful like tealish color. What is the word? The word has just lost me. I spend half of my life going, what's the word? Because I have a super wide vocabulary, and because I used to like just read like the dictionary all the time when I was younger. I'd like look up a word of the day because it was just fun for me. But like sometimes my brain is like just, it goes blank, and it's like all the knowledge that I've ever learned. Sometimes it's like I get like fucking stupid, where it's like I never picked up a book in my life. So maybe that resonates for you. Maybe you're very wordy. But like every now and maybe you've been in a phase here recently where it's like, dude, I feel like I'm dumb right now. Like maybe you're really tired and exhausted. I have like a lot of pressure right now in my forehead that I didn't have in any of the other piles. So maybe you're sick, or your intuition's been clouded or something as of recently. Actually, that goes into your reading. What is the word? Why is it so important to me? Maybe you have been at a loss for words or in search of the right words lately, because what is the word for this? Like maybe you have an emotion or a message that you want to convey, but you've been having a lot of trouble finding the right words. If that resonates, then this is probably your pile. Okay, so let's just forget about that. But if I remember the word for this, then I'm going to say it randomly in a reading because it's going to drive me nuts. The word for this, you know, when copper does this, what is the word? Somebody for the love of God, comment it in the comments. If you pick pile number 3, I want to see you blow up my comments with the word is this. Okay? Please. Thank you. All right. Sorry. Okay, so you got the ladybug luck, and then you got polar bear mystic, and what I heard was luckily unlucky. Like, because the ladybug is about luck, right? And then the polar bear card says, know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity, right? It's like, you faced a lot of unlucky circumstances. You've come across a lot of adversity in your life, but it's always like you've had dumb luck through it. So maybe you're somebody who like, your car is always breaking down, but it like happens to break down right in front of a mechanic shop, or like right in front of a friend's house or something. And then you can just be like, hey bro, you know, like, or maybe it's like your car breaks down and then like somebody just happens to be driving up the road that has a trailer to like a tow truck comes by or something like that, you know, like it doesn't have to be your car always breaks down, but maybe for some of you it does. But like, it's almost like you're luckily unlucky, like you're unlucky, but in a goofy, lucky way. I am very much so like this. Bad, terrible shit happens to me all the fucking time, like all the time. I am constantly tripping over my own 2 feet, constantly like losing money. I'm constantly like, just have like stupid luck, right? But then somehow out of it, it's like some lucky turn of events happens. And it's why I'm really like, I tend to be like a more of a like optimistic person, and it like blows people's minds sometimes because they're like, how are you so optimistic? You've been through a lot. Because if you know anything about my story, and maybe one day I'll do a story time, I've been contemplating doing a Not Your Average Glow Up 2.0 video where I tell my story from the perspective I have now, like I did in my first video on this channel. But I am a radically different person than I was in my first video, where it's like, if I could tell my story now, one, there'd be a lot more added to it because that video was filmed 4 years ago, so a lot has happened since then. And 2, my perspective on a lot of my life events have changed. And also, I left a lot of shit out, like a lot. So I've been through a lot of stuff that to some people would like make them harden their heart, or like, you know, like I've been through a lot. And a lot of people, they look at me and they go, how do you stay so optimistic? And I'm like, because even through all the unluckiness, there was those little glimpses of blessings, like that reminded me that spirit had my back. You know, it's like my car might break down, but like then somebody came over with a tow truck and they didn't even charge me, and that was pretty cool, you know. Or like, I always found like the silver lining. Maybe you're somebody like that. Like that, I feel like that rant wasn't just about me. It's like you're a kindred spirit in that way. And I feel like it's because you are like a mystic. You do have this like, it says you carry the shaman within. I feel like you are a healer, you are a shaman, you are a guru. You might have messages in, I believe is pile number 1, because I want a big long rant about like shaman energy and what true shaman energy is. And in pile number 1, I told them to maybe watch pile number 3, and the ladybugs are gone. The ladybugs that I kept seeing earlier on the window is now gone. So crazy, but I kept telling them to come here because this is the ladybug card, and there was like 3 ladybugs on my windows. So but maybe you're somebody who is a healer, you are a shaman, you are a guru, right? And you've been through the school of hard knocks, but you've always had like this beautiful divine like optimism about you. And spirit loves that about you. Okay, so you are the only pile where you have like 2 sets of tarot, because every time I was trying to shuffle out your cards to get cohesive images, right? Because it's like this deck, the images overlap to make like one larger image. Every time I tried to do that with you guys, and it only happened in your pile, it would be like see, like this right here would come out with another one that would be in the same spot. And I'd be like, well, that doesn't work, Spirit, because then it covers, right? You can't make a cohesive image out of that, right? And Spirit was telling me after the fact that it was because there's two people here. This is definitely my twin flame pile. So if you don't resonate with being on the twin flame journey, or like at least having a soulmate, then this probably isn't your pile, because this very much so is your blessing from this journey that I'm about to describe, is union with the person who is here. So if you are a divine masculine, then this is going to be your story. If you're divine feminine, then this is going to be your story. But this story is in the same pile no matter who you are, because you're going to come together with this person. It's like the divine feminine was over here doing this thing. Divine masculine was over here doing this thing. This is the lessons that they had to learn. And then they come together and lovey, lovey, lovey. Yes. Okay. So story on top, and the one that I was primarily getting, but then this feminine kept popping in, is the divine masculine story. Okay. So you got the King of Wands. So there might be a fire sign male. Okay. Identifying. It's not body part specific. You can be a they, them, she, her. You can be cis. You can be trans. I don't care. But divine masculine, divine feminine energies. Okay. So there was a divine masculine, possibly a fire sign, but that doesn't have to be, whom had his heart green, intuition, and head is blue, right? His heart was like half guarded, right? Because you can only see part of it, and the intuition is like completely covered up, right? And the moon here is about like the unseen, like blocked intuition. Oh God. Now I have a tickle in my throat. If you watched multiple piles, maybe it's the divine masculine that needed to speak, because that was coming up. Woo! Yep. God, got a dark throat Bert. Maybe somebody like grew up on Sesame Street, because I'm thinking of like Bert and Ernie. You got a dark throat Bert. Now I'm hearing rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time so much fun. Okay, I don't know why Sesame Street is coming up, but Sesame Street's coming up. Maybe somebody's got like kids or something, and the kids watching like Sesame Street in like the background or something, like while they're watching this. Or maybe you have like a Sesame Street toy, or you grew up on Sesame Street. I don't know why that's coming out, but I think it's coming out because I have a sore throat, and then the dark throat Bert, because like they play doctor, and Ernie's like goes to check Bert's throat, and because like they're playing doctor, and he's like, what's wrong with my throat, Bert? And he's like, you got a dark throat, Bert, you know? So why is this message being channeled like this? I swear I'm completely sober, but I feel high as fuck right now. Okay, but I'm not. I haven't smoked all day. A dark throat, Bert. What are you trying to say, Spirit? Bring me some motherfucking clarity. Clouded clarity. Oh, so you're a Damas. Got it. I mean, that is like a term of endearment. I am not calling you dumb, like literally. Okay, so in the past, you are a Damas. Okay, so you're being a little bit of a dumbass. And you were guarding your heart. You were shielding your heart because you couldn't see things clearly. The Three of Pentacles here, down at the bottom, right, is like talking about a collaboration, but it's like a collaboration about like what skill sets you can bring to the table. It's like coming together of like different skills in different experiences in different like jobs and stuff, like all coming together, like people from different like hierarchies and stuff coming. Oh, pile number 1 was about like a hierarchy. Oh, maybe you are supposed to watch all 3. Okay, sorry. I feel like this whole reading is all just one big reading, and I didn't mean to do that, so I'm sorry. But so maybe it was the divine masculine in pile number 1. That makes sense. Okay, so in the past, you may have been a Dumas, okay? Like where you, your judgment was clouded because I want to say there was a collaboration of some sort that was rejected, or you went through with it, but it was done from a place of superiority, where it was like done from this like, we're giving you a handout, don't forget we're above you, like in pile number 1, right? There was a collaboration, right, where you came together with some people, you collaborated with some people. These people, right, like you worked with some people in the past, you collaborated. Maybe it was with a project, maybe you didn't work with them full time, but maybe you worked with them on a project or something, right? Or it's either you worked with them, but it was like no bueno, it was like not good, like cohesive energy. It was like very much so like exclusive energy. Or you were supposed to come together and collaborate with some people, but you didn't because you were shielding your heart and you only wanted to show half a hand. It was like you wanted to keep this facade, this illusion of like mystery. Maybe you were supposed to collaborate with a lover or something, and you did not do that because you wanted to shield your heart and because your intuition was completely blocked off. I'm getting mixing like business and pleasure for whatever reason. Like somebody, maybe you were trying to keep business and pleasure like separate. Maybe you were trying to do like the honorable thing, because a King of Wands can be quite honorable, because King of Wands is fire sign energy. And when I think of fire sign energy, I think of like Leo, Aries, Sagittarius too, but I don't really think of Sagittarius as very honorable. No offense to Sagittarius. I love Sagittarius. My best friend's a Sagittarius, but I don't necessarily associate Sag with honor. I associate them with adventure. But anyhow, the King of Wands can be quite honorable. So maybe you were supposed to collaborate with somebody that you had feelings for, like secret feelings, because they're kind of locked off, right? They're hidden. And it's almost like you fucked that up because you were like afraid of mixing business and pleasure, and you saw that at the time as like honorable, as like doing the right thing, which by the book, like if we're talking like HR, like if this is like a big company and like I had like, I don't know, like I was running like a corporate business, and this is like you're a boss or something and this is an employee, yeah, you don't sleep with your employees. That's terrible. I mean, Ned Fulmer. You know, like we don't need a Ned Fulmer moment, right? So maybe there was something like that, right? But what you didn't know is that this person, that you were kind of being a Dumas because your judgment was clouded here. And if you were resonating with supposed to be pile number 1, you were supposed to step away from those people that you were doing the original business partnership with. So you would have been able to mix business and pleasure, but not in the original way that you saw it. You would have had to have left that company and then gone into partnership, both romantically and like maybe started a future business with this person that eventually you would go on to marry or something. Like you're supposed to do business with this person who's also a lover in some way. And why I say that is because when I was trying to get the story, the Queen of Cups was coming out. This is illusions and clouded judgment on the mask sides. And then this is the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, right? High Priestess is all about like psychic intuition, but the High Priestess is also very secretive, very mysterious energy. And a man or a masculine trying to wrap his logical brain around a High Priestess woman is going to confuse the fuck out of him, because a High Priestess woman deals with the seen and the unseen, right? It's Persephone energy. It's that tie between light and the dark, the here and now and the underworld, right? It's the bridge to the underworld, right? So words, Sam, find the right words. That is the theme of today's reading, is words, for whatever fucking reason. A masculine trying to wrap his logical brain around this type of woman is not going to understand this type of woman. And it's not because she's trying to keep herself hidden. It's not because she's like pretending to be somebody she's not. It's because this is a malleable duality type woman. This woman has multiple sides and they're all real. She has the keys to the underworld. She's allowed in. Because she's this High Priestess, this shaman-like guru psychic energy. But she's also a real human, right? She's not like an angel. She's not, like a demon. She's a real human with real feelings and a real life, right? So there's this woman, right, who I believe was a psychic, who had this love offer and a lot of love to give. She's the Queen of Cups. That's the Queen of Emotions, the Queen of Love, right? And then there's the Four of Wands, which is the marriage card in the background, right? And then there is the Nine of Cups, which is about like satisfaction and almost like what's it called, like overindulging, right, on emotions and stuff. And then the Seven of Pentacles, which is like building and planting the seeds, right? Okay. I feel from looking at this image with the context of this that there was a woman who came in with a love offer, right? And a masculine whom was afraid to mix business and pleasure, was afraid to collaborate. And maybe it's not like an actual business, but like it could be like maybe they weren't going to collaborate on like a business project, right? Maybe it was he was afraid to come together in a relationship because he wanted to focus on like material success and stuff. But this was a do-mass move on his point because he couldn't see, and she can. She is the High Priestess. She knew that they were going to have this happily ever after. She knew that like they're supposed to be together, right? But like he dropped the ball on that, right? But now he is, because when you put them together, look, it still makes a cohesive image, right? When you put them together, he's having all these sleepless nights thinking about how he could have had the happily ever after with her, how he could have, what's the word? He could have overindulged and been fat and happy and content if he would have showed the other half of his heart. He could have had this happily ever after with her. And now he's having these restless, sleepless nights because he's starting to see the illusions are coming off, he's starting to see what could have been, right? And he's learned the lesson, finally, okay? Now, if you are the woman in that situation, then you're being blessed simply for enduring that and being the bigger person and rising above and keeping your faith and keeping that like hope in this shit situation. If you are the masculine in that situation, then you're being blessed for finally fucking learning that you were a dumbass and that you want to make things right, okay? God, that was long-winded. Why was that so hard for me to spit out? So let's see what blessings are to come. Now, if you are the masculine, these blessings are only coming if you right your wrongs, if you make movement. You have to take action. You have to admit you were wrong. Like, you have to admit you were wrong. Maybe those were the words that you couldn't find. Trying to find the right word. You gotta say, you gotta speak from the heart. You're so focused on trying to find the right words, but you got to speak from the heart. That was the problem, is you were trying to guard your heart. You have to just speak from the heart and say, I was wrong, you know? But if you do that, then these are the blessings to come. And if you are the woman or the feminine, then these are the blessings to come because you kept faith in all of this. I hope I didn't lose you guys on this one, because this one's complicated. My head hurts. All right, what blessings are going to come for the ladybug people? What is the word for that? Not tarnished, not oxidized. There's a word for that, and I'm going to remember what it is. Pentina or plantina? The word! I almost had it. I heard it. Pentina or what's the word? There's a word. All right, blessings for those people. 1111, yeah, that's the twin flame number. That's also why the now 111 and then 1111 again. Damn, yeah. So you might have been seeing a lot of 111 and then 1111. Might also want to look up angel number 111, angel number 1111, but angel number 1111 is also usually associated as like the twin flame number. Pentina, right? Is that it? Is that the word? I feel like that's the word. I feel pretty confident in that, but I could be wrong. God, I feel stoned. Maybe one of you guys is smoking or something. A blessing on resolution. Yeah, no shit. You need to resolve this conflict with this other person. So one way or another, if you're the masculine or the feminine, finally a resolution is coming. A blessing on a fresh start and resolution. Yeah. Blessing on truth. Yeah. I feel like I could just sum this one up. This pile is you're going to come into union with your twin flame. A blessing on senses that gift the world to you. Ah, and there's honey on this card. And my twin flame always shows up in my tarot readings as tasting like peppers and honey. So whenever I see honey or taste peppers and honey, I always know that Spirit is talking to me about my twin specifically, because every time I channel their energy, it tastes like peppers and honey. And my twin and I, this is so crazy. This is definitely resonating for me. Wow, and in another one. Okay, so there's honey here, which is a sign for me, right? And then every time my twin shows up to me in a dream, I'm a white raven and they're a black raven. And look, there's a black raven here, which would be my twin. And then there's a white raven, and then there's black ravens. What? Oh, and the black raven has 3 other... Okay, so my twin is surrounded by like 2 other people that they were grouped in with, 2 other masculines. I wouldn't call them like divine masculines. Maybe they're on a twin flame journey, but it ain't with me, you know? But it's funny because mine had 2 other primary people that I associate with them with. And then it's like, here's the divine masculine out on his own. And then here's the divine masculine flying away from the feminine with these other 2. I feel like in the past, and this might just be a message for my specific divine masculine, but it's also a collective energy for somebody else, because this whole reading is about it. I feel like in the past, this divine masculine was a fucking dumbass and got some bad advice and stuff because he wanted to be like copacetic and keep things chill with his buddies that were not true buddies. They were king of the hill type energy, like, you know, like clotheslining people, Red Rover, all that. A blessing on the right words, a blessing on your day. Yeah. I could stop right here. A blessing for peace of mind. Okay. So the blessing for you guys is that you would come into union with your twin. Yeah. Like you would actually be together in a happy, cohesive, loving relationship. The blessing would be closure. The blessing would be resolution around this like disagreement. You would eventually find the right words, and that would be through speaking through the heart and not trying so hard to have the right words. Just speak from the heart. It's really not that hard. Like, I feel like my specific divine masculine, I get these channeled messages a lot for him where it's like he's overthinking and he's restless and he's afraid that I'd be mean to him. And I can be quite harsh, I can be quite blunt, but sometimes I feel like he projects so much of his insecurity onto me where it's like it's almost like offensive, because it's like, why does he think I'm so mean? Like, even if I for whatever reason didn't want to be with him in a romantic relationship, I wouldn't be unnecessarily cruel or mean, even though what he did hurt me. I have the knowledge, because I very much so resonate with that high priestess energy, that it had to happen that way for my growth and for his, that he had to learn these lessons, and that I had lessons on self-worth and, you know, not second guessing my intuition and like being confident in my psychic abilities. Like I had to go through that. I had to go through that rejection. I had to go through that in order to grow, to be ready for this union. And he had to reject the union because he still had lessons to learn about these friends and about this hierarchy and all that shit. And like this empire of dirt, and the fact that he was on the hedronic treadmill and building his abundance in the wrong areas with like this fool's gold, like focused on the wrong things that like you can't take with you into the afterlife. And if we would have come together back then when I was offering that cup of love, it wouldn't have worked, because he had not yet learned that lesson, and he would have been like selfish and been focused on career and fame and accolades and being Mr. Popular or whatever. And I don't want that. That's not the kind of guy that I want to settle down with. And I wouldn't have been happy, because I, back then, before he rejected me, I was in this place of not knowing my worth and taking everything personal. And I was just as psychic back then, just as talented. Like, I've been reading tarot for years. I was so talented back then, but I didn't have any self-confidence back then. I wanted to work with him and some of the people he was surrounded with, because I respect their work and what they do. But it wasn't for like, oh, so I could get famous or any of that. It was because like I liked what they do. I believed in what they were doing, right? But I didn't have the confidence. I didn't believe that I was deserving back then. And then him like rejecting me and coming from that like place, this is how I perceived it. This is my perspective. I would love to hear his side of the story. I genuinely would. And that's the part that I don't think he understands, is I would be open for a conversation about his side. You know, I would love to hear his side. But he doesn't offer that. He doesn't offer that. Instead, he just was in my life one minute and then just wasn't, with no clarity, no explanation, no anything. And I was just left feeling rejected, feeling like I had no closure or clarity or understanding of what happened, or why didn't they want to work with me? Two, why I felt rejected even in a romantic way. Like I very much so was attracted to him, very much so was like I saw a future with him. So, but all that being said, I'm glad it happened that way because it had to. Because had that not happened, after that rejection or that perceived rejection, because it was all an illusion, it was all in the divine order, right? After that perceived rejection, I went into a little, woe is me, he doesn't love me, he doesn't see my worth, maybe I'm not talented, maybe I'm not pretty enough, maybe blah, 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 whatever. I got back together with my ex that I knew I could do better than. I did all the things. I had to fulfill some karmic contracts. I had to still had lessons to learn, right? But then I did what I did. I got back together with my ex, and I threw my pity party for a little bit, and then I went, fuck no. You have not come this far. You have not grown this much. You have not learned the things that you're learning, so they don't want to work with you. Fuck them. You don't need them. So he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. That's okay. That's okay. You know how fucking beautiful you are? You know how many men hit you up on a regular basis? Girlfriend, you don't need him. If he doesn't want you, then that's fine. And then I started down the path of healing. And now, ironically, I keep getting all these messages that it's time now, finally, that he's gonna circle back around. And at first, when I started to get these messages, I was like, fuck that, he's not allowed to circle back around now. I don't fucking need him. And then Spirit told me that that needed healing too, because that was holding a grudge because he wasn't the problem. And neither was I. The problem was that we were two immature souls. And if you're on the twin flame journey, and this sounds similar to your story, even if you're not my twin, even if you're a completely separate story, if this emotion, if this storyline resonates with you, the lesson is that it's neither fault, that you're two human souls, that you are learning and growing and healing, and this masculine had wounding that I could not see at the time. I since then had downloads about like some of his childhood and some of his like ex-lovers and stuff like that, and I now understand that he was guarded because he was hurt, he was wounded. And somebody coming in and being like, hi, I'm your future. Don't be afraid, we're gonna get married and have babies. That's fucking scary to somebody who's been hurt and abandoned and backstabbed and cheated on and all of the things, right? And it was easy for me to be like, oh, he rejected me, and oh, he's this and that and blah, 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 and oh my God, he didn't see my worth and blah. But I don't know that was my truth at the time. That was my truth through a very wounded and like offended standpoint. I don't know what was going on in his head. I'm a card reader, not a mind reader, you know? So until he tells me honestly from the heart what he felt and not like just what he wants me to see, you know? Like, because he could come to me today and tell me a bunch of lies and excuses, but until he actually honestly communicates with me, this is what I was feeling, this is what I was going through, I'm never gonna know, you know? I'm never gonna know the why. And sometimes I think in the twin flame journey, we get caught up in the why. Why me? Why did it have to happen this way? Why? The whole fucking point isn't even about the romantic union. It's about the soul's growth. And whether you come together or not, you learned. And that's a win. If he marries somebody else, if he, whatever, I just want him to be happy. Genuinely. It would hurt. Like it would hurt because like, you know, I thought he was the one, you know, but I feel like now I would have peace. I would be like, okay, That's what they chose, as long as he was learning, as long as he was growing, and as long as he is happy, right? That's the lesson of the twin flame journey. And if you don't understand that and you resonate with being on the twin flame journey, then you're not ready for union, because it's not about you. It's not about the happily ever after and the pretty babies and the nice house, and you can have that on the twin flame journey. There's a lot of misinformation about twin flames out there. A lot of people will be like, oh, you're not supposed to come into union with your twin flame in a romantic relationship because twin flames are toxic and they're abusers and they're cheaters and that's not accurate. That's not a real twin flame. That's a false twin, okay? Real twins can come together in a romantic relationship, and a very happy one. But it's not perfect and fairy tales. It is a very triggering relationship, but not triggering in an abusive way. It's triggering in a way where it forces you to grow and to change, because that's the point of a twin flame union. All that being said, pile number 3, you're going to be blessed with a true romantic relationship with your twin if you want it. It's a choice. You can choose not to do it. Just because they're your twin doesn't mean you have to marry them. Just because they're your twin doesn't mean that you have to take them back. But you've done the work. They've done the work. And Spirit's saying, you did it. You can be together now if you want to. You can be together and be happy together because you've done the work. So if that resonates, if you've truly done the work, then that's your blessing. I know that was a very long rant. I'm sorry about it, but I hope you enjoyed this reading. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a magical, wonderful day. Bye.